ministry of this church is amazing. I am so thrilled and excited to learn that you've hired a new minister. And Reverend Michael Brooks, I know. And so I'm so excited for what I know is about to bust loose in this church between him and you. You guys are going to be creating amazing results. So I'm so excited. Let's do our affirmation this morning. I just want to make sure, because I wrote it. I want to make sure I wrote it down right. I'm going to say it, and then I'd like you to repeat it with me. I toss pebbles of compassion, kindness, and love everywhere I go. Okay. So let me say that again. I toss pebbles of kindness, compassion, and love everywhere I go. If you'd repeat that with me. I toss pebbles of kindness, compassion, and love everywhere I go. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jody. Well, welcome and good morning on this wonderful Labor Day weekend. It's fun. Hope everybody's got some great plans for the fireworks tonight. And on behalf of the board of trustees and the staff and the music team, I'd like to welcome you here today. We're so happy that you are gracing us with your presence. It's really beautiful to see you. I just have a few announcements. This Wednesday, Dr. Bradford Summers is going to be doing our Wednesday night service at 6:30. Dr. Summers' talk is entitled Experience and Existence, Comments on Pain and Consciousness. Dr. Summers is a PhD who combines counseling with 2 decades of ministry experience. His gift of compassion and intelligently integrated spirituality should make for an interesting and meaningful lesson. As you all are aware, we lost a giant in the entertainment industry, Mr. Robin Williams. He was a personal hero to me, and I was deeply saddened by his transition. In honor of Robin Williams, Spiritual Cinema is going to be presenting one of his films, Good Will Hunting. And that's going to be Friday, September 5th at 7 p.m. down at Friendship Hall, so we hope you can join us for that. Thursday, September 11th, which is that's an important day in many different ways. 9/11, and also it's my daughter's birthday. It happens to be Unity World Day of Prayer. So in your handouts today, there is a insert there, and then you can put names that you want to have mentioned for that during that day of prayer. Put those on here and leave them in the basket on your way out, so that they will be mentioned. That's a really wonderful. The theme this year is "We are the light of the world, so let your light shine." And Bob's here. Bob, here you are. Beautiful Bob. Bob is going to be, and the other prayer chaplains that will be keeping a prayerful vigil in the chapel on that day from 10 a.m. to 5 a.m. So we hope you can join us for that. Thank you. Mike. Mastermind class. I love the name of that class. Mastermind. Sounds like spy. Mastermind class is 9:15 Sunday, September 7th in Conference Room A. It's facilitated by Alice Frazier. Childcare is available in the nursery downstairs. And in September, we're very excited. We're going to be, as we prepare for our wonderful Reverend Michael Brooks joining us in October, we're going to be honoring some of our best speakers. We've got certainly one of them today, Jody Soland, and we're going to start off in September with Louise Dunn. So we're excited that that's happening. I believe, Steve, you have an announcement.
Well, thanks everyone for your contributions for our campus computers collection. I'll go ahead and collect for 1 more week, so through the 7th, so whatever, whatever school supplies.
Can you come up and grab a microphone, Steve?
Okay, sorry.
Let's give him some encouragement to get up on the platform.
All right, well, thanks for your patience, everyone. Again, as I was saying, I will go ahead and collect for 1 more week through next Sunday, September 7th, for Cranston Computers. I do truly appreciate everyone's generosity. I know these teachers and these children they serve from impoverished districts will as well. And also looking forward, we'll be serving dinner at City Gospel Mission downtown on Monday evening, September 29th. We're gonna have a prep party the day before, so I've kind of got like a casserole type dish in mind, something easy to serve at Mass to roughly 100 guests and visitors. So just need help with cutting vegetables and getting the beds and cheese and things like that together. So we're gonna have a prep party after service on the 28th, and maybe just like 10 or so people could come and help. That would be wonderful. And then the evening of, like maybe 5 people could come. Dinner will be served at 6, so whenever someone might be able to come and assist that evening at City Gospel on Monday, September 29th would be wonderful. More than 5 people would probably have us tripping over each other, but just a few hands on deck would certainly be helpful, especially in my current state. I'll be better than, but not quite 100%, so any assistance is greatly appreciated. So I appreciate whatever contributions you made to Cranston Computers next week, and again, whatever help I can have September 28th and 29th for the City Gospel Dinner will be much appreciated. So thank you very much. Blessings.
Thank you so much, and we're all knowing peace and strength for you and to recover there. Awesome. All righty. Anybody here for the first time? Raise your hand. Ooh, cool. Awesome. I love those hands. Please keep your hands up for a little bit. We have a little gift for you. We have a flower, I believe, and we have a little packet, information packet. Inside that, there is a place where you could write down some information about yourself so that we might be able to contact you. We would really appreciate that. So we want to stay in touch with you. And please join us after service downstairs in Friendship Hall so we can get to know you better. And just please know that wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you're in exactly the right place. That's the thing David said. So we love having you. I just want to make one last announcement. I sort of mentioned these one beautiful gentlemen with the purple stoles. They are our prayer chaplains, and they are available for prayer service. For your prayer needs, stand next. Awesome. And they're available for all your prayer needs after the service. So please seek them out and fill yourself with them. That's a wonderful thing. Okay, please stand and join me as we sing Move the World with Michael Kyle.
See this? I have about 10 typewritten pages for my talk today. These are my cheat sheets. Just in case. Because I have a brain injury from a car accident. And always in the back of my mind, I'm wondering, will I forget something? And I've been asked to move this aside. And to totally trust. So there will be no backup on what I'm about to say and do today. I'm stepping out in my next step of faith, and I'm trusting. I'm Jody Soland, and I had an amazing talk I was so excited about. And Monday I went to send it all over to Billy with the songs, and Spirit said, that's not your talk. And so in prayer and in silence, I just went in the woods and said, I'm going to fully trust. I've been taking these steps, and I'm going to trust that you're going to drop it in. By Thursday, I was getting a little anxious. You ever done that? You trust, but then you kind of make a plan over here in case God doesn't work out. I trust you, God. We say that every week, don't we? I know I'm Spirit-filled, and we are one, and we are connected, and I trust you, but over here, right? I got my plan. My talk title today is The Ripple Effect. Now, there's a spiritual law. Well, there's many of them, but there's one in particular that all of us are a part of every moment of every day. It's been called by many names. We're a part of it whether we like it or not. We're a part of it whether we know it or not, whether we're aware of it or not. And I like to call it the ripple effect. Everything we think and say and do is like a pebble we toss into a pond, and the ripples go out, right? We know that. If we doubt that's a spiritual law, just look around us. You can see it played out every day in your own life. Did you ever get up in the morning grumpy? Trying to get your kids off to school? You're late for work? Did you ever notice how one thing leads to another? How many of you have ever had that happen? One thing leads to another, right? One difficult or negative thing. You got up late for work, there's no shampoo in the shower, the kids are mouthing you off, they're not getting ready for school. You get in the car and the traffic is backed up all the way to who knows where. You're late for work, the boss yells at you, you sit at your desk and now everybody's in angst and upset because you sent out those ripples. And we've all done it. I'm guilty of it. Unconscious, unaware of what we're doing. The second unity principle teaches us that we are part of God. We're always connected. And it teaches us that God is good, so we are what? Inherently good. Do we believe it? Who taught us? So many spiritual leaders. But in the second principle, we talk about Jesus the Christ. He showed us over and over and over and over again that we are inherently good. He taught with compassion. He taught with kindness and love, unconditional love. And I do not believe that he taught us this so that we could put him on a pedestal and say, we can never be that. Poor us. That was Jesus, not me. Jesus was a miracle worker. He inspired us, and he set out these ripples that we still feel today. But sometimes we just don't believe we can do what he did, but we can. But we can. One person at a time. One moment at a time. Is all we have to do to make a difference. To send out the ripples of compassion and love and kindness. A little girl, 5 years old, forgotten and alone, called in the orphanage her home. One day the gardener handed her a rose and a little child's Bible with a note. Jesus loves you, and through her eyes of innocence. She thought he was Jesus, 'cause Jesus lived in him. Jesus lived in him. Every day the little girl would anxiously await the joyful man that met her at the gate. He told her stories and he listened to her fears. And when he left, he whispered in her ear, Jesus loves you. And she thought he was Jesus through her eyes of innocence. She thought he was Jesus, 'cause Jesus lived in him. Oh, Jesus lived in him. Time would go by and they both lost touch. She often wondered where he was. She longed to thank the man for helping her become who she was. He taught her to love. He taught her to love. A doctor in emergency looked down into the eyes of a homeless man fighting for his life. She saw the fear in him and gently took his hand, just to bring some comfort to the man. Something familiar about his face, something familiar about his eyes. She couldn't know, but it was her turn to save his life, save his life, save his life. And a homeless man was healed by love that night. And he thought she was Jesus, and his heart knew for sure. He thought she was Jesus, 'cause Jesus lived in her. Oh, Jesus lived in her. Oh, the power of love, the power of love. It can heal this world so reach out, won't you reach out? Somebody needs you now. Oh, the power of love, the power of love. Heal that little girl when she reached out, oh, she reached out and healed the homeless man. Oh, the power of love, the power of love. Oh, oh. Just sit in that energy. The power of love. Who is it that influenced your life? Was it one person or two people or 10 people? Chances are there were many, many people in your life, in your past and now, who reach out in kindness and compassion. Just think about how it feels when somebody really believes in you, and you know it. And you know it. Someone has your back. Someone sees something in you that you can't even see yourself. For me, that was my high school swim coach. You see, when I was in grade school, middle school, I was the worst math student you ever saw. Honestly, the first day of school, when the teachers saw me coming into their math class, they just shook their head and sighed. They'd already heard about me. And I felt it. You see, all my sisters and brothers were really smart. They got it. And the teachers loved that. But I didn't get it. And no one ever realized I didn't get it. And I thought I was stupid. Until I met Coach Wright. He was my 8th grade math teacher. And one day he sat me down after class and I was waiting to hear the usual stuff I got from teachers. Why can't you be like your sisters? Why don't you turn in your homework on time? Why do you look like you're daydreaming when I'm teaching? But instead, he looked at me with all the compassion and love I've ever seen in anyone's eyes and said, how can I help you? What can I do? What do you need from me? And I burst into tears and I said, I don't get it. I don't understand this. And he took the time to help me. And when I found out he was a swim coach, which was another of my goals, I wanted to be on swim team, but I really couldn't swim well. I made a deal with him. If I got an A, he put me on swim team. Poor guy had no idea of my swimming abilities. But he saw something in me, and I trusted him. And he let me know every single day, you're doing better. Wow, look at that, you figured that out on your own. Wow, you turned your homework in, you're paying attention in the class. He could have stood up there and recited poetry all day. I was glued to everything he said. And I got the A. And he put me on the swim team. And I showed up. And I couldn't swim worth a flip. And there I was swimming with girls that had been on swim team at the Y, at the country club since they were 5. They're done with their workout, and I'm still going, trying to figure out how to make a turn. He saw something in me. He saw something in me, and he encouraged me. He never, ever belittled me, put me down. He always found some way to inspire me and lift me up, and I knew he was in my corner. I'd see everybody make perfect turns, and down they'd go, and I'd head to that wall, and I'd look up, and there he was, following me down on the deck. And I'd make that turn, and part of me just burst. You know that feeling, don't you? How many of you had someone who believed in you? I ended up taking the school record and the pool record and being on the winning medley relay team because he saw that in me. So who do we help? How do we make a difference? Is there someone or someones that you're making a difference in their life? Who is it? Do you realize that one word of kindness sends a ripple out that you will never, ever know how far it will go? You'll never know. Because of this coach and many other people who were kind and loving to me, I carry with me this love and kindness and compassion. And I'm able to give it out in bushelsfuls. One of the things I love to do is I go to Suma Rehab Hospital. The CEO had seen me do the keynote closing at the Traumatic Brain Injury Conference. And she called me and said, we'd like you to come and perform in the auditorium. And I thought about that, and I said to her, you know what I vision? I vision sitting with a patient one-on-one. And I just want to be with them and get a sense of where they are and let spirit drop in the perfect song. And it was so beautiful how she trusted me. Yes, sounds good to me. I have no idea what you're talking about, but I trust you. Let's do this. I pulled into the parking lot that day, and I sat in the parking lot waiting to go in, preparing myself. Let me be an open channel, work through your spirit. And I heard these words, everything in your life experience has prepared you for what you're about to do. And all around you, you are surrounded by love and compassion. You carry it with you, now give it. And I went went into the hospital, met with the CEO, and we began. We went to the first room, and the nurse warned us, this patient isn't talking. She's very depressed. Don't be offended if she doesn't really want you in the room. And I knocked on the room and asked her if I could come in, and she said yes. And I sat beside her. She didn't say a word, and I could feel it. It washed over me. And I heard the words. It's raining, it's pouring, Cheerios on the floor. The baby got into baby-proof door, and he's laughing, he's giggling, and I'm chasing him down the hall. I slip on the rug and I fall, and he turns around, he crouches down and tenderly kisses my frown. And this woman began to sob, and she reached out and took my hand. How did you know? I miss my kids so much and my grandkids. I'm so worried I'll never get out of here. How can I live without them? And I just let her talk. And I looked to see the CEO crying and the nurse crying and I'm crying. There was that moment of healing because we all got out of the way and we were just fully present for her. I think the CEO was in a little bit of shock. As we walked out of the room, she looked at me and said, I don't know what just happened in there, but I'm going to do the whole round with you. Every room you want to go and let's do it. I began to see the nurse soften a little bit, you know? And we went to the next room and the next room and the next room. Unbelievable miracles happened. So they created a whole budget to bring me in and book me a year in advance because the patients were saying, bring her back. And the only reason they were saying bring her back is because of all the love and compassion and kindness everybody gave me. And the unity principles, I learned to stay open and trust God, and so I went back. One day I walked into a room and it was a gentleman who had a motorcycle accident, and when I knocked on his door and said, would you like to hear a song? This was his reply. I don't think so. What do you charge? Nothing. But you can come in. As I sat next to him, his anger was so powerful. It was written all over his face. And he began to talk to me a little bit and tell me he had a motorcycle accident. And he loved his motorcycle. And his wife was furious that he was going to buy another motorcycle. They were at the point of not even speaking to each other. And he disclosed to me, you know, I think I could leave her over this. Who does she think she is telling me that I can't buy another motorcycle? Why, I'm going to buy another motorcycle. And I just listened. And I listened and I listened. And I said, hey, would you like to hear a song? Yeah, you might as well. Dear Mr. Millsaps, I've got some news for you. This is your cancellation notice. Here's your application. Please tear up your car. And won't you act like you don't know us? We are the Motorcycle Club USA. So proud to strut our fancy leather. We just can't have some old rookie like you wrecking his bike in perfect weather. Harley doesn't want you anymore. Oh, we're too tough for guys like you. Honda and Yamaha say they found out you don't even have a real tattoo. And Kawasaki says they had to vote you down. They were so embarrassed the day you hit the ground. We put your picture up at the motorcycle store, and it says, Harley doesn't want you anymore. Well, he got to laughing, and I got to laughing, and one thing led to another, and the energy of that room, that anger, and frustration, and resentment dissipated. You could feel it, you could see it. And he looked at me and said, you know, She's probably right. She's just worried about me. And then the tears came. His heart was open through laughter. One day I walked into a room, and there was a gentleman who'd been there for months. He'd been in the hospital for months. And see, I get all this because I've been the nurse. And then I told you last time how sick I was. I've been the patient for 6 years. And now I'm a musician. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I get it. When somebody tells me they're in pain, they don't even have to say it. I get it here, right? So he's been in there forever and ever and ever. And I came in and sat down and looked at that man, and that hospital gown he had on, it was wrapped all in all kinds of orifices. I don't even know where it was. Just his little head was sticking out. And he was just feeling stuck. And I said, I have a song for you. It's thin as paper. It's been washed a million times. It smells like bleach, and you tie it from behind. Everybody wears one, you'll have to wear one too. So when the nurse says put this on, here's what you gotta do. Hospital gown. Turn it around. Or you'll go waltzing down the hall just looking like a clown. You'll feel a breeze and start to frown. If you don't learn how to wear your hospital gown. And the woman in the corner, all by herself, holding a rosary. Good morning, God. What a beautiful day. Thank you for the way the dew lays on the grass, sparkling like that. Good morning, God. The flowers are all in bloom. The sky is so clear and blue. Good morning, God. Thank you for the air I breathe and every breath you've given me. Thank you for the ones I love. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Good morning, God. And as I sang that to her, she wept. And then she told me how angry she'd been with God. Why over and over and over she had to suffer. And that song brought her back to gratitude. We all do what I was doing that day. We all do it. One time I was in the grocery store, my kids were little. I had no sleep. I had a baby and a 5-year-old. I was homeschooling, singing and writing, and pretty well exhausted. And a lady came up to me and said something remarkable. She said, my God, I've been watching you. You are the best mother I've ever seen. I love the way you interact with your kids. You can feel the love. And I remember that many years later, I saw me in the grocery store. You've seen her, or him, right? The harried mother, she's exhausted, the kids are acting up. She's trying to get the groceries in the cart, they're putting in who knows what. And I walked up to this woman and I just simply said, your children are so beautiful. You must be so proud of them. And that fear, anger, and frustration and exhaustion left her face. And she turned to me and said, thank you. Sometimes I wonder if I'm doing a good job. Thank you. So many people are out there helping people. I know one of the ones that I have to acknowledge is Hal and Marilyn Hopper. Without one question, when I came to speak, they invited us to their home. And I walked in the door, and honest to God, it was hard for me to get motivated to even move. It felt like such an amazing home. That feeling of home, of love and acceptance. And we talked and we learned about them, and I know the incredible things they've done to throw that pebble out and the ripples they've caused of two people. They've caused these beautiful ripples to go out and affect all these people, and they're affecting people, and they're affecting people. Marilyn told me a story about Hal going down the road one day, and he saw a homeless man with a sign, we'll work for food. We'll work, we'll do anything for food. He picked this this man up and took him to breakfast and offered him a job. And she said Hal told her that the guy really didn't do anything all day. Not really a lick of work, is that the way you put it? He didn't do a lick of work. But Hal paid him anyway. So when we give that love out, it's not for us to decide how it's going to be accepted or not accepted or what's going to happen. It's just our job to give it out. What's your pebble? How many people have you affected? We look in the news, don't we, and we see all this crazy stuff going on. One day I was watching the news and folding clothes, and my 15-year-old, who is hilarious, who really lets things roll off his back, happened to wander into the room. And he looked at the TV screen and he looked at me with such fear and said, "Mom, are they coming here? Is that here?" And I said, "No, honey, that's in Syria." "What if it comes here, Mom?" And he sat down and began to talk. He said, "Mom, I'd love to help. What can I do? There's nothing I can do. I'm just a kid. I'm 15 years old." I said, "Oh, but there is. When you go to school this year as a freshman, be aware of anyone who feels alone or looks like they're alone. When you sit down at lunch and you see someone by themselves, go sit with them. Befriend them. Keep lifting people up. But how's that going to help, Mom? Because that one person is sitting there feeling lonely and empty, and you may be the only person that makes a difference, the only person that reaches out." There's a story on the internet about a valedictorian of the class, and he stands up to give his talk. And he says this: "One day I was walking home from school. I didn't have any friends. I was very depressed. And I had an armful of books, and they fell in the water and the mud in front of me. And somebody from my school walked up behind me, picked up the books, helped me get them back together, and helped me get home. That was the day I planned to kill myself. But that one kind act stopped him. And he went on to succeed and became the valedictorian of the class, and who knows what this man is doing now. You have such power in you. I look out here and I think of all the possibilities with your new minister, how you guys are moving forward because you've created it. So as we do that, as we use one kind act to send that ripple out, it becomes a blanket. And all the negative we're seeing, the wars and the turmoil and the hatred and all that stuff, I'm going to tell you something. You know this. When love hits that, oh boy. So today I ask you, what's your choice? What pebble will you throw into the pond? Will it be a pebble of compassion and love and kindness? Will you lift someone up today? Will you look in the mirror and say, "I'm enough," and lift yourself up? Will you understand that you're one with God and really believe it? And if you don't, will you keep looking at it and saying, "I'm going to work on this"? Will you work on your trust that you're enough, that one person is enough? Or will you toss in the negative pebble of frustration and anger, and there's not enough, and well, it's war, and what can I do about it? The choice is yours. I hope today that we just keep creating the ripple effect of love. Thank you so much. So now we're going to have an opportunity to do a meditation. And you guys who know me know this, but for people who haven't been here before, I like to take you in to meditation and really have an experience of whatever the talk is. And so today, we're going to go in and experience that ripple effect for ourselves. So if you begin to just take everything off your lap and get comfortable in your chair, find a nice position that feels good. Make sure your cell phones are all off. Check your body, check your space, make sure it's comfortable as you can be, and take a deep cleansing breath in and release it. Take another breath in and release it. And just for good measure, let's take one more breath. Deep breath in and release it. And as you release, allow any energy that may breathe into those spaces where you feel a little tension, a little bit of energy stuck. And gently breathe into those spaces and allow the breath to relax those areas. Allow that energy to just release. And breathe gently and allow your mind to relax. Let go of your schedule for today. And just be fully present in this moment, in this space. And as you breathe, allow every cell of your body to know you are connected to the divine, to the one. Remember that energy that's never left you. And imagine, if you will, that you're sitting on a bench in front of a beautiful pond. There's trees all around you and the sun is shining. And it's the perfect weather. Not too hot, not too cold. You can feel the breeze across your face, caressing your skin. And as you look out into the pond, you notice it's completely still, like glass. And you breathe gently into your heart space and allow your heart to soften and open. And as you do, you feel an overwhelming presence of love. It comes in from the top of your head and moves through your entire body until every cell is lit up. Your whole body is of God. You feel it, you sense it, you know it, you believe it. And it feels so good. You remember how connected you really are. The divine is within you. You and God are one. Feel that deep compassion and love that the divine has for you. And as you're sitting there, you notice there's a pebble in your hand. And it's being infused with all the compassion and love and kindness of spirit. And as you hold it, it becomes your treasure, your gift. And when that pebble is filled with every ounce of beautiful, loving energy, you toss it into the pond and you watch the ripples go out. And you notice all along the shoreline people who are affected. Maybe it's your children or your husband, your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, your extended family. Maybe you see your community gathering around that pond. And now the ripples have gone out and they're expanding. this pond extends out and becomes an ocean. And those ripples go out, past the community, past the state, past your country, over the oceans, over the mountains, and to everyone on this planet. To every living organism. Everything, because everything is God. And as you look at this, you know that every thought, word, and action is a pebble that you've tossed. And as you stand in awe of what divine love can do, as you accept that you have this power in you, it's your God-given right. You are the hands and feet of God in this world. You are God's voice. As you know this, you take a little piece of that ocean, you scoop it up in your hand, and you hold it and allow it to flow out, knowing it's always there. And you see yourself now back on the bench, overlooking the pond. And you look to your right and left, and all around you are a bush of baskets full of pebbles, waiting for you to use. Reminding you. Just take a deep breath, let it go. Knowing that you send out this love energy to the entire planet. Remembering your connection to Spirit. And then when you're ready, just breathe gently and come back. Bring your attention to this space and to this time. Just allow your body to feel. Returning now here to this space, to this time. And then what I would ask of you is that you think of one person, one situation that you can affect with the ripple of that wind. That you just become conscious and aware as you go through your day today. Let Spirit tell you. Say something kind to that person. Help that person that has a flat tire. Lift your child up. Say something positive to your spouse. Whatever it is. Let this be your prayer, if you will. And just breathe. Please join Billy.
Singing, Surely the Presence. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and praise. I can hear the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
And now is our time of offertory. Do you have an offertory?
We do have something to say. Maybe he's got that. We're going to say our offertory affirmation together. Divine love, moving in and through me, blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I receive.
Well, I wrote this song a few weeks ago for another service I was giving, and so thrilled to have Billy in the band, which I would love to acknowledge your incredible music director and this fabulous band that you have here. Amazing. And so we decided to do it this morning, and it'll lift our energy up so that we can walk out the door. It's called Compassionate Heart.
We're going to show you